time for our March update. What did we do in March in our 5th grade homeschool? In February, we started watching Inventions That Shook the World, which is all about the 1900s inventions. It's a documentary separated by decade. We love that documentary, and we continued watching it in March. We're almost finished with it. We only have 2 decades left. For history, we are working on America's Story 3 and loving it. We are in the World War II era right now. In March, we studied FDR and World War II, and we brought in supplements. It's great to see the different stories of women in the war and how they contributed during World War II. We also used the comics with content for World War II. We used this for World War I as well, and we liked it, so we brought it in for World War II. This is slightly older content, so I would put this at a middle school age range for what they discuss. My daughter enjoyed her sticker book. This is the World War stickers. We did World War I, and then they also have in the back of the book World War II. She enjoyed this. I will leave links down below in the description. I have a binder where we keep our historical subscriptions so that I can pull them out based on time. For World War II, we really utilized the Heritage Mail. We have the Z plan of the Japanese prisoner of war and radio transcripts. It's so neat because you get information, and then you also receive something that used to be confidential but has become declassified, and so that is a lot of fun. We also have Eisenhower's Order of the Day for D-Day, which includes a drawing of what the platoon leaders wore that day, Operation Cornflakes with an informational plan, and then also an eyewitness account of the Trinity explosion showing their drawing of atom bomb looked like from up in the plane. At first, I thought this history by mail information might be a little bit old for my daughter, but she has really enjoyed this supplement for World War II. Also, with the Heritage Adventure letter, we had received a letter from the USS Alabama Battleship Memorial Park, and so we included this as well. For history, we absolutely read the Who Was, What Was books in March. We read Who Was Franklin Roosevelt, What Was Pearl Harbor, and What Was the Bombing of Hiroshima. We are still enjoying Draw and Write Through History. We were able to draw Sherman's tank for World War II. I found this great World War II projects that you can build yourself. They do have it separated into on the home front and on the front lines. We put together our rations book. We also did a poster for recruitment to explain how everyone has something that they can contribute. But this book has great projects. The history books that we read include A Long Way from Chicago. Love this book. It talks about these 2 children going to visit their grandmother throughout the 30s once a year. It is hysterical. This would make one of our top 5 of the year, I believe. A Letter to Mrs Roosevelt. This was a nice, easy read with a lot of information in it. A Boy at War about Pearl Harbor. The main character's father was in the Navy stationed at Pearl Harbor when Japan attacked, and this is about that boy's experience. Very good. The Great Depression, Choose Your Own Story. We love these Choose Your Own Story books. This one on the Great Depression did not disappoint. It had information from a variety of perspectives during the Great Depression. This was a win in our homeschool. We also read G.I. Joe and Lily. This is a biography, so it is a true story. G.I. Joe and Lily met during World War II. They were both in the armed services, and it talks about their experiences both before, during, and after the war. It really gives a huge impact on what soldiers go through. There are some graphic parts in this book about D-Day, about what G.I. Joe saw on the beaches of Normandy during the invasion of France. So just beware, this is not for necessarily younger kids, but it was so great, and it is a biography. It's a true story. G.I. Joe and Lily, thumbs up. For science, we just finished Heaven and Earth from Master Books. So if you're interested in a review, I do have it coming out shortly, so make sure you're subscribed. We also watched this video from Awesome Science all about exploring the Grand Canyon. For English Language Arts, we have finished All Things Fun and Fascinating from IEW. We started this last January and we just finished it. My daughter has learned so much from this curriculum. We are still working on IEW's Fix It Grammar. We have brought in the sentence diagramming from Critical Thinking. Also, we're still loving our magnets. This was one of my daughter's favorite moments in March when she completed her reading comprehension sheets from Rebecca.
Just now finished reading comprehensions.
We have also been working on the United States collection of song studies from Where'd You Learn That? I really like this curriculum. It is very easy to use, it is low prep, and it's a lot of fun. It also incorporates art into our homeschool. For Read Alouds this month, we read The Miraculous Adventures of Edward Tulane. We also read Slacker, Gordon Corman. Love Gordon Corman. Middle school Gordon Corman books have been great. They always pack a punch and give a great lesson. We have enjoyed these books. I believe this is our third one for this year. We also read Bridge to Terabithia, which is definitely a classic. My daughter is not happy about the ending of this book. She thinks that they should never have ended it that way, but it still gave a valuable lesson, so I'm glad that we read it, Bridge to Terabithia. For math, we are working with Singapore Dimensions and loving it. We have started the geometry portion, and it's so much fun because geometry is very kinesthetic. We get to measure things, we get to use protractors, we get to use geoboards. Please let me know how your March was. Also, if you are interested in learning more about our experience with IEW and All Things Fun and Fascinating, please check here.